I'm with Ames and Tapetech Tool Company, and my title is Director of Education. Primary is education. So education is I train our customers primarily how to use our tools, the new features of our tools, the changes of our tools, how to use them properly, clean them properly. We write curriculum for the union so that there's a standard that tools, because we invented these tools, Ames, in 1939. So we want people to understand what they're used properly, that they're used properly. With our distributors and our dealers for Tapetech worldwide, we train their staff how to use the equipment, how to sell it properly, how to maintain it, how to fix it. So there's a multifunctional job that I do, but I really like getting out working with the people. +25 years, awesome years. I like the people. I enjoy my colleagues, my coworkers. I also like my customers, people we work with. It's unions, I work with drywall finishers, people that sell our products. It's just a fun group of people to work with. That keeps me going every day. If I'm home, I live in Atlanta. I have quite a commute. The traffic in Atlanta is really good. So I get to the office, I say hi to everybody. I go around and talk to our people. We have a large staff of people that work in our facility that manufactures the tools, that clean the tools, that ship the tools, that pick them, and kind of makes everything, the nuts and bolts that make our company roll. I say hi to everybody, basically people again, like seeing people. I get myself moving by energized by talking to the folks, and I look at my day. Usually I have more to do in a day than I can possibly get done, but I try to, sometimes I put stuff in a parking lot. I'll say, okay, well, I got to get to this. Sometimes things come up that supersede, so I have to do those first. But generally, I'll get moving in my office, communicating with people, putting out fires, as you would say. I hate to say that out here in California, but we do that. We look at, hey, a customer calls. I've had a few here today during this demo. A customer has a problem with a corner finisher. I'm trying to understand, is it something he's doing wrong? Not to infer that, but is there something that we did wrong? Then I got to work backwards and say, is it something we did? Is it our parts are bad? Is there something that the customer is not doing? Do we need to social media post? Is there something that we have to do there? I do a lot of social media posts with the company. We have a department that does that. I'm just the guy that makes the videos or goes out and talks to people, but I really like that because I think that reaches a lot of people. Whereas before it was, paper, people want to see stuff, hands-on, visual, reading through this pamphlet and talking about all the features and benefits. But if you go out and meet the people, talk to them, again, for me, it's all about people, going and talking to people and reacting with them or interacting with them and hearing their issues or their concerns, or it's too heavy or this or that. And at least when I'm talking to somebody, I can, usually face-to-face is better, but even if it's, with a post, I guess, if I go online, if I'm talking to somebody via what's a Teams meeting online, I can kind of talk to them. We kind of look at tools, but if you're out there with them, you can kind of see the issue, overcome it, or at least talk to them and show them you're sincere about that. And our company is sincere. Again, we're the industry leader. We make these tools. We invented them. We want to show that we care and we're going to resolve the problem. And when it comes to education, which is my primary job, that's probably what I need to do most during my day is to help people see things quicker than learn it themselves, or come into our stores or our dealers and tell our dealers or our stores how to do it. Because sometimes maybe they were trained wrong. Maybe there's a education issue where they were told wrong how to use tools, and it's a little dicey sometimes because you get people that are, they've been doing this for a long time. But there are some ways or things that we've changed that might make it easier. So we tend to have a really good conversation. It's all about the customer. It's all about the people. So that's primary part of my day is working with that. This last week, we had 15 of our store managers from the Ames side that came in. They go through a training. It's all week in our Sewanee corporate office. I have them for 2 days. I don't make finishers out of them, drywall finishers, but they have to know basically what all the tools do. They have to connect the tool, they have to pump material, joint compound or mud in through the tool, use it, so they can relate. When the customers come in, they know what a gooseneck is, or a pump, or a bazooka, or automatic taper. So we had them for, 2 days. It was a mess in my training center, but we had fun. And again, it's a great company to work for. So I truly have a great job that I can work with great people and customers. I think the drywall trade and the finishing trade and the finishing trades themselves are just awesome people to work with. again, I keep coming back to the people. I guess I'm a people person, so I like to interact and talk and overcome, and people. I think that's, for me, is the important thing. The job itself is very fun. I've been very fortunate to travel many places around the world and meet different cultures and different people. And drywall is still drywall, but there are different types of drywall out there in the world. But it's basically the same thing. It's panels of drywall put up, for finishing, at least, in our tools and our equipment and our accessories. Finish it, tape it, finish it, sand it, everything. So it's paintable. So it is kind of the same, but it is different if you have different cultures, different countries, different, people. Some people act different. I'll give you a little story. I was in France, and I was talking to a guy, and I would have thought he hated our tools. His reaction was so, and I had a translator because he was, I don't speak French. And I said, oh, really? Does he like these tools? Is there a problem? Like, no, he loves them. Wow, I thought he was upset, but we really had we have a good reaction with relation with our customers. And so for me, people and talking to people, solving problems too, I guess, for these people, that's another benefit I get to do. It's my goal. If somebody calls in and they have a problem, it's to take care of the customer and the people that are, maybe there's something we did wrong. So I'll make that as less painful for them as possible. I'll take care of them. If there's an issue with the tool, hey, some people are upset. I understand time is important to them. They want to produce, work, make the money, right? Safely. But sometimes, look, I understand, I'm going to get this tool in the mail to you today. It's being overnighted, So sometimes I like that. I can do that, have that authority. I'm very supported by my management to do that. And that's important. Again, people, customers, number one. So back in 1996, I was in the drywall finishing business. I was running a company in the finishing world called Acoustai. It's a Southeast company. It's a large commercial drywall company. We built large projects. And in 1996, the Summer Olympics were in Atlanta at that time. We was busy beyond busy. Many employees. Probably towards the end, when we were finishing up the projects, the Olympics were getting ready to start. Everything stops after that for work. We had to take 2 weeks off. But I was approached by an Ames, at the time was a regional manager. And the regional manager, basically at one of the stores, I was in the store buying some products, and he said, hey, why don't you come to work for us? We're expanding. They just had moved to Georgia from Northern California, which is where the tools, I think Burlingame is where the Ames brothers started the business. And he asked me to come in, and I guess it was like a month or two, just kind of process. I met different people, CEO, the vice president, and they were looking for a training ability to happen in the East United States, because the Western United States uses our equipment pretty commonly. It's pretty common. Some of the newer things we're still getting out and showing, but the tools themselves weren't as popular in the eastern part of the country, in the United States. They were very common in the West. So as you got east, the usage of our automatic taping and finishing tools were less. So their concept was to put these mobile field specialists, was the term, out in the field to go out and interact with the customers. I believe I was the third one hired in that role out of at that time, Duluth, Georgia, to go out and work in the field. So I was offered a job, and it was a really good move for me. I had a lot of stress in that job. It was a great job finishing and working, but it just felt good. Some things just feel good, and I was able to make that change. For me, it was within my budget to do it. So I took the job. I was able to travel around in the Southeast, and I was, maybe 200 employees to just me overnight. So I was working in different states and going out and demonstrating. Mostly we'd go to demonstrate to the job sites and show the guys the equipment, the customers, and it was regional at that time. I had some opportunities to travel kind of up north, occasionally to New York and to St. Louis, but mainly in the Southeast. And that's kind of how I started. It kind of quickly moved from different roles. I went from that for a couple of years to regional manager. I've lived abroad for a couple of years, for 4 years actually, in the UK for Tapetech for our sold side of the business. Was international sales manager. Circled back to this job by accident. Director of education was something that was offered to me by a previous CEO. that was just not known to me. I didn't know what that role meant, but it's turned out to be the best role for me. It's something that I really like to do. I enjoy it the best. So I've been doing this role for the last 10 years in the Director of Education role. That's the enjoyment. International sales was good. The training in the local was good, but this position really I enjoy a lot. Check your options out. I mean, I know certainly for me, I went with my trade. I learned the construction management when I went back to school later. So I went through the union, learned my trade, turned out apprenticeship, journeyed out. Drywall finishing was in our family. My father did this. When I graduated high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I wasn't sure. College wasn't something that I was sure. I didn't know what I wanted to do on that. So I think if you could think of something that, if you're not sure what you want to do, you can get a trade. I decided to. I would think, check out your options. I did go back to college. I went back later, four or 5 years later. That worked out better for me. But just check your options out. I think there's lots of things out there, skills, vocational tech, that you might enjoy. There might be something, certainly getting education is a good thing to do, but there's also education in vocational or construction management. There's things you can follow as a career path as well. I would say check that out. I think, enjoy life, do something you enjoy. I think that's very important for me. I'm 58 years old. It's important for me to enjoy my day, and I think why not do that when you're younger? Not to say I never did when I was younger, but I appreciate it more. So if you're younger and if you can, take your day and enjoy it, it's don't let stress enter into your don't even learn that word if you can. Certainly it's there. Stress is, certain stresses, certain levels of it are acceptable, but if it rules your life, if you're having stress, get away from it. I think that's another thing I try to advise my coworkers, and I'm not going to say it's not going to happen. It does, but if you can avoid it, enjoy every day and find little things that are good, and drive down the road and put your hand out the window or look at the sun go down or something simple that's free. Enjoy it and just take every day and enjoy every day. Getting up every day, yeah. I mean, it does get tougher as you go along, but I do like to enjoy my job. Enjoying what you do every day is, I know the people and all that, but what you do, the job core itself, whatever I'm assigned to do that day or whatever I have to do, flying out here, meeting new people, talking to people, that really gets me excited. I don't, I've got a great job. I enjoy it. And I think if you can have a great job and enjoy it, it makes it easier to get up and move. If you don't, I can imagine the opposite. If you don't enjoy what you do, or if you're, not happy or, stressing or whatever, you probably don't want to go in the door. You don't want to walk in. You just, had a chat with a coworker and there was some stress, and that's we just talk about things and, hey, go enjoy what you do. That's, to me, is the most important, that I enjoy my job, my life. I know there's a work-life balance. I certainly have, outside of work, I enjoy fitness. I enjoy the outdoors. I enjoy kayaking and skiing. I like doing a lot of things outdoors. It's great to be outside and physically active, as opposed to sedentary or just sitting inside if you can. With the crisis or the COVID that we had, the pandemic, that was kind of tough, not seeing people. So I think for me, I realized not interacting with people other than, electronically or on my screen on my computer, I miss that. I miss my family. I miss my friends. So again, interacting with people, being excited about my day, liking my job, going to work out in the gym, going out to do this, whatever, looking forward to doing things and enjoying it. That's important. I wanted to be a fireman. My grandfather was a fire chief in the city of Detroit. He was a chief, and knowing my grandfather and seeing him, and he was older certainly, but watching and understanding his, how he talked about it, and certainly it's a very dangerous job. It's a very important job. Public service is something, but I wanted to be a fireman. I thought being a fireman was really cool. So when I was really young, I liked that. That was something that seemed like a good dedicated job to do for the community, to do things for people and help people. And I don't know, the red fire truck was kind of cool too, you know, and the Dalmatian and all the dog and everything. But and I had a grandparent. My grandfather was a fireman and a fire chief, and some of his stories and some talking to him were interesting to me. So, fireman. Probably Italian food. I would say Italian food is really good. I like pizza, I like pasta, you know, and then certainly throw the chicken and the sausage and all that in there. I know the pasta stuff is, but I like all foods. You know, there's some foods that are Thai food. I like Thai food. I've been to Thailand and it's very hot. Maybe doesn't agree with me exactly as much as I may like it. It's very, very spicy, but I do like Thai food. I lived in London for a while. I wasn't really liking the Indian food, but curry food is very popular in London, and I learned that there's different types of Indian food. The curries I couldn't eat; it was too hot. But there's some different regions in India where there's fruit and there's different spices to the fruit, and I found some different types of Indian food that I liked. So you know, if I go to India, wow, it's really hot stuff there, so I don't like that. But I'd say Italian is probably my favorite.